Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is April 1st, 2023, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the Russell 2000 on a monthly chart, quarterly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only. No trade recommendations here, even if I do talk about trading and trade things and all. Please do your own due diligence and verify anything that you want to trade and want to do, and make sure it's going to work for you and you have a plan in place. Or also get educated. Check with your financial advisor, check with your significant other, and check with us and see if we can actually help you out. Again, let's go ahead and take a quick look at this Russell and see what's been happening here this past week. Like I say, today is April 1st, 2023. And let's take a quick look let's just jump right on into the charts because there's a lot of stuff here to see right quick. On the quarterly chart, I'm seeing that we are getting, it was the end of the first quarter of this year. We ended up kind of like with a doji, like the Russell has been doing here these last couple of quarters and all. But we have a higher low and a higher high. So I'm still good with this, even though we are below this 10 moving average. That's what I see there. Let me go ahead and maximize that so make sure you're actually seeing what I'm seeing and all. I don't know. I'm so used to looking at things like that. But here we got a higher low and a higher high. Even though we got pushed back down, I kind of was expecting that. On the pivot, stay on the pivot. These are yearly pivots. But so it's going to be a slow year. I think the Russell can actually get stuck in a range going sideways here. So we just got to wait and see what happens there. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the monthly chart. On the monthly chart, we can see that the Russell is kind of going sideways. Let me zoom in a little bit here. And all, that's where you can see what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the Russell here. As you can see, it's in a fairly small range. It's staying below 2,000. Well, this is on IWM. On the big one, it is around 2,000 that is staying below, and 1,700. Here on IWM, I trade this sometimes too. I like trading options on this particular one. And when I buy options, this is the one that I'll buy options on. No trade recommendation there about buying an option. I'm not talking about any expiration, any strikes, or anything like that, or how I'm doing. So don't even look at options if you don't understand options. All you're gonna do is lose money. I'll tell you that right now until you get a good understanding of what's going on there. Right here, I'm seeing a bearish looking pattern, but we've seen this bearish looking pattern before. We've seen this bearish looking pattern back here before, and it's never committed to the downside. Also here, this is on a monthly chart with my quarterly pivots. We did, this last quarter we was above pivot and we ended up staying above pivot. This is one of my things, one of my rules, one of the things that I look at when I'm trading. How well does it actually work? And this particular rule tends to work out fairly well for me. Right now, the key thing that I want to show here on this monthly chart, at the end of the month, end of last month, we do have a bearish looking pattern. It did come down to a level that I expected to bounce. It actually bounced like I expected it to. So that worked out really actually pretty good and all. So that's what we see. And the thing is, don't get so committed on this pattern that you see here in the market. We can see before on the Russell, it is one that doesn't, confirm its patterns most of the times. Or in the past few years, is very seldom confirmed their patterns to the downside, and I haven't seen too many. Some people might look at this as a bullish looking pattern to the upside, but then next month we ended up with a doji and pushing back down. And this is when we was thinking the Russell, this is on the monthly chart, the Russell was the first one where we thought was going to actually turn bullish for us, and then it ended up bearish, then it ended up bullish, then it ended up red staying above, then it's back bearish below. So the Russell is kind of like learn to play the range. You have to learn to play the range that the Russell is in, and understand that it is in that range. Don't think it's going to do any more than what you see already on the chart. Don't expect too much more out of that. That's the key when it comes to the Russell. What I'm seeing here, I've been trading it for a couple of years now, and I can see it's not It's not a ranging when it goes sideways like this. I can say it's not a ranging type stock. Intraday you get some nice things, but for long-term investment, it may not be too bad because again, it's one that is not going anywhere. I've had people, you probably heard me say that before. I've had people ask me about, oh, I'm not making any money in my 401k. And then I ask them what they're in. They're in Russell stuff. And I guess that's why some of them big money managers, they put them in stuff like this because they don't want to lose their money. They know the Russell is not going to lose a lot of money, but it's not going to make it, but it's not making a lot of money either. You know, they probably making a lot of money. Let's not go there. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the weekly chart. You can see a little bit more details of what's happening here. And this is these monthly pivots and all on this weekly chart. And this is where I was saying, looking at no matter which one what we look at, if I'm looking at IWM or the future contract, it was at a monthly support 3 level. And I said for those 2 weeks, I said this market is probably not going down below that level. It hasn't gone down below that level. The Russell tends not to break a support 3 level and all. So, and it didn't. You know, it did exactly what it's done in the past. Right now, it's forming a 4-candle morning star, and all if you want to look at it that way, which is kind of a bullish pattern. And now we just need to see if it's going to give us a commitment, you know, or confirmation of what we're actually seeing. But it has turned around on the weekly candle, and now see when we get that confirmation channel. The stochastic is actually giving us support for that. Next month, next week, look like we might, if it gaps up, we might get above pivot. I hate to see it open below pivot. Then one of my rules kick in play. Is it going to stay below pivot? It can kick above pivot, but then by the end of the week, it might be back down below pivot. And the way the crazy Russell is, it can easily turn back around on us and come back down here and test this area. So you have to kind of like be, again, bullish, but cautiously bullish. I kind of like that saying. Got that from Wally. They're cautiously bullish. Yes, you need to be cautiously bullish even when you see the bullish patterns. You play it, but you got to keep your hand on the button and ready to get out or be ready to take that profit as soon as you start seeing it going away from you. You know, that's just the way especially if you're trading the Russell. No trade recommendation there. Plan your own stuff out. See what you see. You know, but as you can see, the Russell tends, it doesn't move that much. That's the other thing. Get used to it not moving that much. You know, and that's what I see here on the Russell. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the daily chart and be done with this. Again, on the daily chart, we had a nice gap up. It could pull back a little bit. Thought it was going to come back down here and try to fill this gap, and it ended up running up all week for the rest of the week. And that's the thing. It doesn't go straight up. And look how. Let me zoom in here a little bit for you. This is the gap up that I was talking about when it came down to my level that I kind of expected to do what it did, and all. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you would kind of expect it maybe come back down here and fill this gap. But another one of my rules: above pivot, stay above pivot. You know, and the reason it doesn't work all the time, but it's something that I have to keep in the back of my head. You know, because like look at this week. This week, Monday below pivot, ended up below pivot by the end of the week. Wow, you know that's the reason I have these rules in place. You know, you can look through the chart. It doesn't work all the time, but I think when we did our study actually on QQQ. It was like it was a high 70% of the times where some of these rules that we actually put in place worked. We analyzed the data probably about 15 years worth of data though, you know, to see how well it worked. And I don't remember. It was good enough for us, you know. And right now, since that was 15 years ago, I think the Qs were trading for. I'm getting off track, so let me get back on track. What I see here on the daily chart is this market actually going higher. We're opening above pivot and actually continuing to go higher. We're at a level. I got a level right here. It's really kind of like right. Let me right here. Let me draw this for you right quick. I got a time thing on here. Let me draw something though. I want to just draw this, but it's not going to stay on here. We got a gap right here. I'm drawing for this gap right here. So I kind of expect the market to kind of come up here and fill this gap. before we go down, if we go down. So I want to see, can the market fill this gap and go higher? I would like to see, me personally, I like to see the market come all the way back up here. I have a trade in that I needed to get up to this level right here, right now, to get me to at least to a break even, you know. So I have to kind of like wait and see, because this right here kind of burnt me when it did that crazy drop. But that's it. That's all I really want to share. I'll put that on there for right now. This is where my early target, around that 180, so, and getting above this level is where I like to see it. But let's see if it comes up there and fill that gap. That's all I really want to share. This is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Talk to you next week. Bye.